Stanton,
Here.
Straker, here. Panozzo, absent. Leo, absent, and Davenport, absent. We have a quorum. Are there any agenda changes, additions, or deletions? Nope. And has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the regular meeting of December? And if so, do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the December 2nd meeting minutes.
Thank you, Canarsa.
Support.
Second, Patterson. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? Okay. Do we have any public comment? Do we have any unfinished business? Let's move right to new business then. Items A and B, 302 to 322 Culver Street and 129 Griffith Street, the dumpster enclosure. So I think where we left off on this was the previous application was for an enclosure up towards the street. And we're now seeing two options, a revised up towards the street and a second option that's back on the Muse building, correct?
Yes.
And would you like to, Fred, give us any overview of
Sure.
where you are?
So, since that last meeting, I was able to meet with representatives from Republic Waste and also with the contractor that will build the enclosure. So after meeting with them and really going over how, what they're going to put in there, what's the demand for the building. So just to back up a second, this is for Saugatuck Muse Condo Association, and I'm kind of spearheading for them. I own some commercial units along the alley that Verna Rose is in. Verna Rose will not be one of the users of this. I put that because I put them in a shared agreement with Scooters, Local Burrito, and Rodiner, and they share an existing dumpster, so they're not part of this. This is for the 8 residential units upstairs and what would be 3 other commercial units now. So it's Saugatuck Traders Gallery, all fairly low garbage users. Saugatuck Gallery, Trader Gallery, this new little cigar shop that's going in, and the dump that isn't there. With somebody after. So it's for that association, 8 residences, and they generate a lot of garbage. They do a lot of airview and things like that. So after meeting with Republic Waste, they said a 4-yard dumpster, which we were thinking the first time, a 4-yard dumpster will be more than adequate. They could vary their pickups between once a week and 3 times a week, depending on what season we're in, things like that. So last time I was here, I was doing a little bit of my own calculations, and I overestimated on the length. The last drawing shows this thing 15 feet long. And after meeting with Republic Waste and with the contractor, we could reduce that to 9 feet from 15 feet. You're gonna have a 4-yard dumpster that's plastic, so they can physically move it out. We don't have to pour any. So if we put it next to the enclosure where Scooters is, we don't have to do anything with paving over any grass or anything like that. It would literally, it would be into the parking lot at all. It'd be along the that dirt area where the dumpster is now. Would be the current enclosure, this splitter system they put on the wall that we can't go in front of to be just past that. And it would, and the size of it, well, this front was other would be the one behind it, the same size behind in the parking lot. The size would be 9 feet wide, 6 feet tall, and it would have 7 feet of double doors that open. It would be a locking dumpster, so people couldn't just go in there from the parking lot and throw their stuff. We put a sign on it that says, sorry to use condominiums. So we looked at the two location options last time. We were talking, I think it was starting to veer toward this empty parking spot that is along the parking lot side of the building. And there's plenty of room there to put it. The contractor could do it. He said he would do this drawing in a, he said we'd use either a cedar or a boral and we would paint it black. The issue with that location, I think, and I talked to Cindy about this too, we did have a meeting earlier, me, City, and the city manager, and it'd be a good spot to put it, but I think the odds of getting that through the city are fairly low compared to next to another existing enclosure, not in the parking lot, in grass. So what we're hoping to get done is get not an approval for both locations, an approval for one location, but to be able to give the city a choice between the one location along the building, in the parking lot, along the side of the 129 Griffith, which would be the right picture here. There's a picture showing
This one.
this picture right here. It shows a black opening along the side.
Yep.
It exists, and there's this wide space. So this is a good spot to put it, but you know, we kind of just, it seemed like in that meeting that this will be more of an optimal choice for the city. It's less obtrusive to what's there now. And now we could do it either way. We could paint, so we could really do whatever the store wants. Our thinking was that we would match what's there, or we could change what's there. I'm not opposed to that either, because I know someone mentioned they didn't like the glass on top. That's fine. We could change that and make them identical. So we're kind of asking from historic is to get an approval for both, or one would be good. And I think most likely it's going to be this, but I don't know. I don't really know for sure. This is just from our meeting we had with the city manager seeing.
So Fred, before we go around the table and ask questions,
Yeah.
I think what we'll want to do is have your ask, like your recommendation for which one you would like as the applicant as your primary, and then we'll go for a secondary, primary and secondary, once we kind of go around the table. Does that work?
Okay. My primary I would pick would be where the dumpster is now. And my main reason for that is I think it has the highest likelihood of approval.
Okay.
That's my reason.
Okay, great. Thank you. Why don't we go around the table? John, do you have any questions?
I think on that one, you had 15 feet wide. Would that go down to 9 then as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So that would be, I was, at the time I went for you as the first time, I hadn't met with Republic Waste yet. And when and they had a gauge of how much garbage goes through this place.
Mhm.
And when they determined it can be done with a 4-yard dumpster easily, we only need 10 feet.
Well, that helps get it away from the road a little bit. That was
Yeah, it
one
does.
concern that came up last time.
I don't think visually it would really be anything
Yeah.
that we have now.
Anything else, John?
No other questions for me.
Keith, any questions?
Does that one have the issue with being on city property, the one that's against the wall?
They both
So-
are.
So both are.
The existing one is, so apparently the wall of scooters, that orange wall.
That's their property.
is 0 lot line. right
Okay.
there. And then there's a 6-foot area of grass and it ends with a little, like a railroad tie.
Yeah.
It won't
Yep.
come out of the parking lot at all.
Okay. And you did comment on, this is going a little off script here, but you did comment on making the existing one the same style. Did I catch that or was I?
The
the existing one that has 2 dumpsters that Republic already processes.
I'd be happy, so if there was something that would say historic one, and to make them look the same or change to it, that is not a problem. I don't know exactly, but yeah, we should.
But are you the decision maker on that, or is that somebody else is gonna?
If it were me and I was gonna do it, I would probably build a new one to match the one that exists now. But if the one that exists now is an issue, the way it looks, and you don't want another one that matches it, you know, I could change it, but what I would do is make it match exactly what's there now. You know, it's made out of treated. That's what the other one is.
Mhm.
And it's, you know, it's treated wood. And it's, and it is, the doors going straight up and down 6 inches, and then it has a little lattice. work
Sure.
on top.
Diamond lattice.
No, that's the only other question. If we get into that a little bit more, you know, I don't know.
It's not a big financial burden, so I'm happy to make it look like, you know, you want it to look.
Yeah, it's just on the design side, it's nice to not draw attention to all the contrasts there. If you take a walk through there, and that's one of the ways into town, there's nothing attractive against that wall at all right now, right? So if you're gonna add more confusion to it, it just feels like if you can talk the other owners into making them exactly the same per your new design, because last work on a dumpster just doesn't make any sense.
Well, I
to
think
me.
he's saying he will do that.
Yeah.
So I own the one,
Yeah.
that, the other one,
Okay.
this really, again, I'm a bit over it, so anyway, this is really for the Saugatuck Condo Association.
Understood.
Yeah.
That's probably the agreement the city will be, but I own the other one and can accommodate and can make a match.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I'm just thinking while we're at it. Just-
Well, yep.
But anyway, okay, that's all I got.
Any
Yeah,
questions?
so I'm looking at this and so obviously trees would be removed, then those tall
some of the
bushes would be removed.
One of them died because they put in this splitter and air is blowing on it.
Yeah. And so it will just go in that space. Will it connect to that other fencing? I mean, will it be
It
like,
won't because of this splitter they put back there.
oh,
I
okay,
did not know they were putting that there, it was just, they did it.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to happen, but they did it. And so we have to go on the other, just on the other side of this splitter unit connected to the wall. So it will not be adjacent, it will not be right up against the other enclosure. It'll be.
slightly over.
There's a drawing that shows that.
So will how many trees are there? 4? Will all 4 be
Yeah.
removed?
Yeah, they're really kind of a bush kind of tree.
Yeah.
I believe the last one would stay, and we're also open to building like to putting in new hall.
Like arborvitae's or something green, like a green wall kind of thing.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't know how, I hope they would take, because I don't know how, who's gonna water, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a
Yeah.
hose out there, and I can get the scooters guys to do it.
Yeah,
So then that would just be where you would want those, I think, though, is just, where you're walking down the sidewalk and the dumpsters are to your left, I think you just want them facing the sidewalk. You can't really put them in front of the
no.
enclosure.
Mm-mm. And then as far as matching, I don't know, because I'm new to this, obviously the woods are gonna look different. Is that something where they usually stain them to match, or you let it be natural, or
Well, I guess,
new altogether, and that's an added expense for the applicant, but
I mean, I think if, I'll comment, I don't want to infringe on your time. But to that point, I think if there's 2 ways, you can either do the new beside the old in the same style and it looks new and old, or you can just do all new in the new style, painted black, and it would kind of go away. And
Would it go away since it's an orange wall?
I think any sort of void kind of goes away. But I mean, the color would be your choice. We wouldn't dictate that to you. But I think what Keith said is valid around like the activity and the confusion of those 2 things. And gosh, if you're willing to do it, I mean, my own personal preference would be to go to that new style on page 11. For
Yeah.
all of
That's
it.
pretty nice.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is
That's
tailored
fine.
and it's simple and it's
Simple.
quiet.
It really, for me, honestly, these are all like long-term investments. That's fine. And so we rebuild the old one, do the new one to match exactly, do it like the drawing you do, I just have the same contract. And,
Okay.
black probably would probably be not a bad choice. I think it's
Well-
weird if it came in orange and that's a.
Yeah, no,
orange
yeah.
dumpster enclosure.
Well, let's finish with Lauren.
Yeah,
Lauren,
that's-
did that
that's
answer
all I
your
had.
question? Okay,
Yeah, that's all I had.
okay. Did you have another, John?
You pick your own color, but there are other, it could be dark, like something on the front of the building that was used, one of the colors from the windows or something, so.
Right. so
Um,
we could do that.
yeah,
So
yep.
I know John Grun, board here,
Yep.
so that, he's conflicts and things like that. But,
But you can decide that on your own and you could consult with me separate,
run by and say,
separate,
Hey,
yeah.
here's our choice that we think would be best.
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
personal.
What we could do, because we don't have jurisdiction on paint, because
Mhm.
paint is a changeable thing in the
Yeah.
district. So what we can do is make a motion to the effect of what we just talked about and vote on it the way we just discussed. And
Yes.
then you can choose the paint color and it can be a staff.
Yeah,
Just for the minutes purposes, I'm a little bit confused if he does the new style on the new enclosure, is then also rebuilding the old.
Correct.
enclosure?
So it changes the application a little bit.
That's okay.
No, you can
Okay.
put that in the motion, so we can make a motion to that effect. So-
I have a question. It's not really good for that, but I think this now. What about the application? Because as I think through this, I always put FMG investments LLC, sitting here at the building house, but in reality, this new enclosure, that agreement with the city will probably be with Sawgrass Views Condo Association. Okay.
So if it's okay with you guys, I'll just take a stab at the
Yeah, why
motion.
don't you?
So I'd like to make a motion to approve 302 through 322 Culver Street and 129 Griffith Street application dumpster enclosures with the following modification. The enclosure will be as described and follow the profile on page 11 of the application to be 6-inch solid stacked boards in the color and finish of the applicant's choice. And the adjacent enclosure that's existing will be rebuilt to match the new for one continuous look. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? There you go.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you
Gonna
so
look
much.
great,
Thanks for
Fred.
coming in for that. It's gonna look really good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for the extra investment too.
It's a good solution.
Oh, not a problem. I'm excited to drive to Florida Center, so I'm pretty much saying yes to anything.
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay,
I'd be eager to hear about your
All
place
right,
down
we're gonna
there,
go to,
when do you go back down there?
the 4th.
we're gonna go to the second application, which is 311 Water Street. Cindy, do you have a little overview on that you'd like to give us before we ask the applicant to?
This building is kind of a mix of additions that were put on over the years. It's actually quite messy. It's not contributing structure. And we do have the applicant here to describe what he wants to do.
Thank you. Hey, Mr. Brevenik, did I say that right?
Yes, that's me.
Hello, welcome.
Hi there.
You want to give us a very brief overview of anything that's not on the application you'd like us to know about?
Sure, yes. I'm the contractor that was contracted to do the addition or the renovation, I should say. It is an apartment that is currently unfinished, and we are turning it into, I think the owner wants it to be an Airbnb type of place. And it would be 2 separate units above the existing cafe. It is, in terms of the exterior, there's very little to be done to the exterior. It is mainly going to remain as is. We are wanting to add 2 windows where there's currently a door.
Mr. President, could I
And
ask you to speak up a little bit? We're having trouble hearing you.
I'm sorry.
I
Regarding
heard
the
everything you've
exterior,
said so far. Just go a little louder from here forward.
yeah, let me adjust my mic here a little bit. Is that better?
Not
No,
really, but we'll be real quiet and listen.
Sorry about that. Regarding the exterior, all we are wanting to do in terms of changes is add a window where there's currently a double door, and remove the existing balcony that has structural damage and is rotted out. And it's kind of a safety concern at the moment. And we're wanting to take that off and replace it with the existing siding. And the last thing to be added to the exterior is we're trying to get heat and condition the air inside. So we would like to add 2 mini splits, which means there will be a box, a condenser on the exterior of the building. We are hoping to locate that on the north side of the building. There's actually one of the pictures shows that there's already 1 unit there. We would be adding 2 more units to that, and it is below the fence line so that it cannot be seen from the street.
Anything else you'd like to?
I don't think so.
Okay. Before we go around the table, could I ask, do you have tear sheets for the windows showing the profile, the manufacturer, any materiality?
I have the, I'm sure I can get some, I'm sorry. I do have the information on them. It would be, can I just say those verbally, or would you like me to provide some sort of a documentation?
We actually need the documentation to be able to see it in conjunction with the drawings, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Okay.
Should be able to share your screen if you have it on.
Sure. Let me look those up really quickly.
there's no volume control over there.
Yeah.
Would a picture of the actual window itself be sufficient, or do you need other documentation for it?
Well, we're going to need
Yes,
the
question.
exact window, like a tear sheet
Okay.
or a spec of the exact window, and so that we can compare that to the elevation where it goes in.
Do we need to compare it to the windows that are already there?
Well, except there are no windows there, right?
Yeah, on the building there are though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah, they're the existing windows. We are adding just 2 more windows to.
Are they the exact same brand and same window?
They are not. These are old windows that are installed there. They're old wood windows. We are trying to put in a white vinyl window. It would be the same. It would look pretty much the same. And it is in a location that's not very, you can't really see it very well. It is on the dormer. Do you have the pictures that were sent over
No, we don't.
of the
And I
building?
just want to make sure too, what you're sharing with us, that you have looked at our guidelines to make sure that they comply with the requirements for materiality for windows, because there's very specific things that we approve. I just want to make sure you saw that.
I did not actually. I'm sorry. My office manager was kind of sending over information and everything, so I do apologize for that. If we need to match the windows in any way, we can do that.
Okay, so typically I can't really, I don't think we can really react to even vinyl without seeing the profile in the application. But we typically would not approve vinyl windows. Those are not in our guidelines. They would be
Okay.
wood or wood clad, aluminum clad.
Okay.
Simulated divided light, never sandwiched grids, or real divided light. So it's things like that that are all in the guidelines in terms of requirements for new construction, which would largely apply to this since it's a non-contributing structure. So I feel like we probably are going to need to table this one tonight if we don't have everything to be able to react to appropriately.
Okay, are we just able to take what you just said and get the exact windows with those specifications?
Yeah, if you look at the guidelines document, it'll give you really clear specs in terms of what types of windows. It's not going to tell you the design exactly because every application is obviously different, but you can access those guidelines and it'll give you the materiality guidance you need to come back with a tear sheet. And if you talk to Cindy here in the room at the city, between now and our next meeting, she'd be happy to look at the tear sheet and say, yes, this looks like it follows our guidelines, but would still need to come back to the commission for meeting along with all the elevations. I'd also recommend, honestly, for a more complete application that you do a drawing that sort of shows exactly where those splits are and where the windows go. I know you gave us like a floor plan of the interior and some notes to the exterior, but even if it's just a hand drawing to show where those windows go and those openings change, that would be really helpful for us to be able to get the approval through for you.
Okay.
Yeah, John?
Can we still ask questions?
Yeah.
I think it's relevant. I noticed that your upper windows don't have divided light, meaning the muntins between that divide the windows, and the lower ones that I'm seeing do in this picture here, you guys.
Yeah.
These have divided light, and all the uppers that I can see in any picture are just plain glass.
Right.
So because these are going to be uppers, I mean, there's an inconsistency there. And I would assume that the uppers would be plain glass, like the plain glass that's there.
Right, but that's up to the applicant to ask
Yeah,
for that. So well, I agree with you. What you're saying is, I think you got a little bit of guidance there in terms of the difference between first floor and second floor windows and which ones to match.
Okay.
But it's up to you and what you want to ask for.
Okay, sounds good. We will get those. We'll get those documents and have them ready. I apologize for that.
Okay, that would be terrific. So what we're going to do is, I think, table this. I don't remember though. Do we make a motion to table? Yeah. So
Can I ask one more question though? There were two other things I was wondering about. On the south side, I think you indicated that you're going to demo that balcony that's off of the top. Is that correct?
Correct.
And is that going to be replaced or is that just going to be as is?
We were wanting to take it off, replace the siding or patch in existing to match the existing siding. And the doors that are there are going to be replaced with the windows that we were talking about.
So that door that's there will be gone?
Yeah.
Windows.
Okay,
are
correct.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then last question, I know that there's plastic over the front open area.
Yes.
What's the plan for that when it's completed?
That is just for weatherproofing for us to be able to work in there eventually. And that will just be open. It will be unchanged to what it was before.
So the plastic will be gone and it'll just be open?
Correct.
thank you. Anybody else have questions?
Just, I assume he's just matching the gable on the north side and the south side windows will try to match that the windows in that gable on the other side, so it'd just be twin, like they would be the same?
Yes, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's another example of showing clarity on the application on the, when you come back with what we've asked for to make sure. I would hate for you to go to the work of doing the window tear sheets, et cetera, and still not have a complete application. So just be as complete as you can with an elevation showing us what you'd like to do, what changes, what doesn't.
Absolutely.
Follows our guidelines, and then we'll get you, we'll try to get you moving in the next meeting.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Which will be February 3.
John?
Just to Lauren's point, couldn't he take a picture of that other gable? Because I didn't notice that. It is almost a mirror image. And then he doesn't have to draw it or anything. The windows are divided. There's a space between them, I think it looks like. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's up to the applicant.
Okay, that would just be another way to represent it. Take a picture of the other side that would mirror it.
Okay. Perfect. I'll do that.
So do we have a motion on this one?
I'll give it a try.
Motion to table, right?
Yeah, I move to table this HDA permit application for 311 Water Street.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Second,
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? Okay. Thank you, sir. We'll see you on the 3rd.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Far away.
Yeah, I know. Our administrative approvals for updates, just to sign on Butler Street.
Yep, it looks almost exactly like the sign that is there now. The metal sign right above the front door that says the Butler.
Okay,
So that one was administratively approved. And this is just a report to you, so you know that I did it.
Okay.
Thank you. Any communication?
Uh,
No public left to comment? Any commission comment? Welcome, Lauren. We're glad you're here.
Yes.
thank you. Yeah. I,
Lauren replaced Garn, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Garn, yeah.
for the remainder of her term, so through 2023.
Okay.
But we plan to make it longer.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out of here that easy.
Yeah, the only thing I asked Cindy earlier was if there were any training opportunities, and I'll work with her on that if there are training opportunities for me. There's a video that I can watch, and then, whether
See
there's,
if that camp training comes back available.
yeah, there was some training that Nico Leo did
Mhm.
in Kalamazoo, did you say?
Pardon?
Was it in Kalamazoo?
Yeah,
I'll look into that.
that'd be great. There's a few of us that attended one in Holland as
The
well.
public library.
That's the one, there's a video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, good. That was good.
Okay,
And it was probably less of a commitment of time, I think.
Yeah, a
than
lot
in
less
Kalamazoo.
driving, that's for sure.
So it was
Yeah.
a couple hours, which was good. So
I'll
thank you
dig
for that.
up and-
sounds great.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any conversation? All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
opposed. Thank y'all. We'll
Thank
see you on the
you.
Thank
3rd.
you.
All right.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thanks, Cindy.
Drive safely going home.
Yeah.
So you guys are here for a little while?
Yeah,
We are.
that was our big